Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Blue Maxima and I'm here checking out Blast and Bunnies. This is from Nunu, the people who made Escape Vector. I wonder if this is actually made by them or if it was just published by them, because Escape Vector was actually pretty good, all things considered. So let's just go have a quick look around before we jump into the game, because the absolute majority of my problems can be explained in this game with this menu system. So let's hit the settings up first. That's actually a really small settings button. I don't like it. But here, this is where the problems begin. First of all, the game's got motion controls. It's basically a turret shooter. This is basically all the game is. It's a turret shooter. And the game starts with motion controls. The motion controls are wonky as hell. I was not able to get them to work properly for me, so I just turned them off after 5 minutes. Second of all, you only have 3 sensitivity options. For me, sensitivity low is also too high. Because in this game, you have to be extremely precise. Not because of the bunnies. The bunnies themselves, they're fine. However, they drop coins. You also have to shoot the coins. The coins are fucking tiny. So in order to actually get the coins, you have to be really precise. And with the low sensitivity, it's still not enough. So that's a bit of a pain in the ass too. Thankfully, you can invert the motion controls for the analog sticks and all that. But for me, I don't do that, so that's not a problem. Also, turn your Wi-Fi off if you're having internet problems, because it'll get stuck on saving so much. But anyway, we got a few other things we can go to. The store we can't get into at the moment. Actually, I think we can, but I don't think we can buy anything afterwards. No, sorry, I was wrong. We can't actually buy anything yet, so yeah. So here's the drill. We can actually go to utilities, I think it was. I think utilities is where you can go to see what you can buy as DLC. Yeah, this is what you buy as DLC. You have permanent bonuses. Which, I can't believe I forgot to equip that. That's annoying. When you buy shit in this game, you should equip it automatically. I was wondering why I didn't have another heart. But yeah, when you buy shit in this game using coins. However, the extra hearts, the only utilities you can buy using coins. In order to get things such as a coin multiplier, or arena themes that are actually interesting, or bunny types, you have to buy them from the store. They're day 1 DLC. It disgusts me, honestly. This game's $5 at launch, which seems a bit much to me to begin with, considering how grindy it's gonna be. But just locking all this stuff behind paywalls immediately after a $5 purchase just stinks of greed. It just... why? The game's got a leveling system and all it does is give you new missions. Surely you couldn't have locked a couple of those, like, arena things behind microtransactions but had them unlock via level gain. Surely you could have done that. No, of course they couldn't have. You've also got missions, and these only apply to the survival mode, and they give you extra coins. So if I just come here, you can see, here are my missions at the moment. This is the second set of missions, and I've also got a daily mission that only refreshes every 24 hours. You've also got medals, which don't really do anything. I don't know how I tapped back there. You've got medals which don't really do anything, but some of the medals are tied to trophies, so that's where they come in. Here's where the main portion of your coin spending is going to be done. You've got 4 different weapon types, and you've got different sub-weapons in there, and you have to buy them using coins. And you earn coins really slowly to begin with. So you start off with a really crappy weapon, and it's just so terrible that it takes ages to actually get anywhere with it. Once you've earned a few thousand coins and bought like heat-seeking weapons, an increased rate of fire, and a double barrel, you'll start doing okay, but you'll still have to go and play like the slaughter mode in order to get an actual good coin haul to begin with. So yeah, kind of annoyingly, you have to spend a lot of money to actually get good weapons. But thankfully, crates drop throughout the game, and these crates actually let you try all the other weapons. So without further ado, let's get into the game. You've got a few different modes here. You've got survival mode with different difficulties, and I imagine there's a hard difficulty there as well. And you've also got slaughter, which is the more interesting mode. And I'm actually going to play survival on normal first, just to show you how annoying it is to play this game on survival mode. And then we'll go play slaughter mode for the rest of the time I'm doing this video, because it is much more entertaining, even if it's a little bit crappier. So let's play survival mode. This game's extremely simple. move your aim with one of the analog sticks, and use use one of the shoulder buttons to shoot. And yeah, that's basically it. I currently have heat-seeking parsnips on, which kind of removes some of the difficulty of the game, because the majority of the difficulty in this game that I've found so far is actually trying to hit things. Because trying to hit things in this game is infuriating if you're not using homing bullets. Because homing bullets are a godsend, because not only is your aim overly sensitive, you have a bunch of problems with hitting the coins and anything that's a smaller target, because you don't have a crosshair. You don't have a crosshair, so you can't determine where your bullets are going to go. And in a game like this, where you need to, very quickly, I might add, figure out where your bullets are going to go and how, that you want something big to work. You want a big crosshair in the middle of your screen, and you just don't have it. And combined with the game's crushing over sensitivity problems, it's just really hard to actually get a decent shot in at the enemies, because you just can't see where you're aiming. And it's a massive pain. That's why heat-seeking missiles are a godsend, because you just end up being able to just fire in their general direction, and generally you'll hit something. And also these cluster bombs. These cluster bombs also get upgraded, so like if you upgrade... I have swapped sub-weapons to a different weapon at this point, so if you do upgrade a weapon like this off in the side, it will carry its upgrades over when you end up swapping to it in the survival mode, but it's still a bit of a pain in the ass, because if you swap to a weapon that's not homing, and you're used to it being homing, yeah, bit of a problem. You can't even, like, zoom in or anything. Like, if I could press L to zoom in and give me a more precise shot, that would get rid of most of my problems. But no, they insist on making it so that you have no crosshair, you can't zoom in to help with your aim, and everything's so small that you have to use heat-seeking weapons to get it to work anyway. It's infuriating. And the fact that you have to shoot every individual coin in a system where you have to hold down the R button to fire, and you've got a temperature system where you have to let your gun cool down, this is more infuriating than you might think, because, again, you just have to shoot every individual coin. So, there's nothing you can do if you want more coins. You just have to get a really annoying overheat signal every few times that you want to shoot a giant coin pile. Like, unless you've got a fully upgraded weapon, the coins that this boss drops at the very end of his boss fight, you're not going to be getting all of them. You're not going to be getting anywhere near all of them, because you're just not going to have enough bullets to get all the coins that he drops. Or if you just have a giant bomb just by pure luck of picking up a giant bomb. The one other thing that I want to point out too is that this game is just dull. Like most turret shooters, like, I love the Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, Death from Above section, that's what it's called. I love that section so much because it's a fantastic example of just using a great system. You know, making a system where all you can do is aim and shoot enjoyable. It does an absolutely fantastic job of that. This is the Frenzy mode, by the way. It just gives you a coin magnet, so you pick up all the coins automatically, and I think it upgrades your weapon entirely, and it also gives you invincibility, but it doesn't last forever. There is a minimap down the bottom right, but yeah, as you can see, just with the way that the weapons overheat, it's really hard to keep up in this mode, and it can just get frustrating really quickly. Also, it upgrades your weapons completely. Also, it just uses the... what's the word I'm looking for? I'll go back to my diatribe about Modern Warfare. It knows how to make stuff satisfying. Also, there's a cutthroat bunny there for some reason. Yes, they literally call that the cutthroat. And if you don't kill it fast enough, you'll lose the bunny, and the bunny gives you like a bonus 1,000 coins at the end of the round. So, yeah. It's just not satisfying to shoot these bunnies. Like, see, when you're doing like laser damage to them, it really just doesn't affect much. When you're doing any kind of damage to them, it just doesn't seem to affect them that much. They stop in play, sure, but they don't like take any sort of meaningful damage or anything like that. They just tend to fall over and just disappear. They don't disappear in any hilariously funny ways. And like, I could understand if they were going for like a kids thing, right? Like, I could definitely understand if they were going for that. Then why are the cutthroat bunnies in here? Like, explain the cutthroat bunnies to me in a game where they're trying to be cute about almost everything else, and I'll let them off the hook for that one. But when they don't try to do anything interesting with like bunnies falling over or something like that, it can get annoying. Also, nitpick that I recognize as minor, but, you know, it's still a bit of a problem for me anyway. That minimap is too small for me to be actively looking at, and they only flash the encounter arrows for a couple of seconds. So I really wish they would do something like have the arrows be up more permanently if there are enemies off screen at the time. But again, that's kind of minor. Also, watch what happens if I use my left analog stick. Yeah, my aim goes all over the place. I really do need to get a new analogs, a new Vita, or maybe I'll just send it back to the guy who made the video capture kits in the first place and ask him to repair it. But anyway, so I've completed my missions, or at least some of them anyway, and I'll get coins for that. And I'll get new missions to do. And I actually earned a fair amount of coins this time around. You usually don't get this many. But then again, I am playing on a fairly easy difficulty mode, so maybe if I... So now that I've actually unlocked now that I've got a fair bunch of coins, I can actually... Yeah, there's survival hard mode, as I expected. So the bunnies themselves aren't actually that interesting to play with. They don't react in a way that's enjoyable, so it's not that fun to actually shoot them. And when you've got weapons that are anywhere from underpowered to just powered enough to actually get through the levels, it gets a little bit annoying. But anyway, I could buy another weapon. I will buy another weapon, but really it doesn't matter because I'm about to show off the other mode that the game has. So I'm going to go back and we're going to play the slaughter mode. The slaughter mode is a little different. It lasts for 2 minutes. And in those 2 minutes, you need to slaughter as many bunnies as you can. You are permanently invincible and all the weapons are fully upgraded. So I don't know why they insisted on putting this mode in here. Like, is this just meant to show off, like, how the weapons are once they're fully upgraded? At least I think that's what they're trying to accomplish with it. But anyway, this is really the only interesting way to earn coins when the game starts off, because in your general survival game, you won't earn that many coins to begin with. So you just end up having to come to play slaughter mode because the amount of bunnies they drop at you is pretty high, and they drop coins that they don't drop in the normal mode this quickly. So you end up earning a lot of coins, or at least a fair amount of coins for this point in the game. Like, now that I have the ability to, like, get a fully upgraded weapon, I might actually stand a chance. But the first half hour of any game of Blast and Bunnies, or for anyone who's purchased Blast and Bunnies, I should say, is grinding this mode for coins until you can actually get something that'll let you survive the any reasonable amount of time in the survival mode. Which is really disappointing because they're selling a coin multiplier day one. So it's just, I don't know, it stinks like something that should have been made free. It really does. Like, you should have made it free, made the arenas free, but then charge more for, like, the weapon upgrades and the microtransactions, because one of the eventual microtransactions they're going to put in is upgrading the weapons completely. Now, some of the trophies in this game are actually upgrading all the trophies. Not in all the trophies, are actually upgrading weapons to their completion. And they actively stated in the press email that I got that in order to get the trophies for the deal for upgrading all the weapons, you have to actively like, not download the DLC. If you downloaded the DLC, you have to go out of it, and you have to make sure you have to delete your game and make sure you don't actively download that DLC. That's what I was trying to say. It's incredible, honestly. It just, man. If If it was free, I wouldn't be complaining, honestly, because there's some shit that you do in free-to-play games in order to earn some money. We'll play this one more time. There's some shit you have to do in free-to-play games in order to earn money. And to be fair, it would actually be a really reasonable grind for a free-to-play game. But for a game I've already paid $5 for, it's just a bit much, really. It really is just way too overbearing, honestly. And considering that I'm pretty sure I've seen most of what this game's offered already in the first hour or so, it really does seem a bit much. Just more reactive enemies than just, like, fading into these smoke clouds. And maybe just, you know, add crosshairs and just more usability features. Just do some more interesting stuff with that. And you probably would have had something half decent here. Take away the microtransactions. Make it so that it's a $9.99 game and you actually unlock stuff at a decent clip. And then maybe I would have been a lot more interested. But right now, I am just not interested in a turret segment game that really didn't take into account what the Vita's working with. Because this sensitivity problem's an issue. See how long it took me to hit that one fucking coin? That really is a problem. Really, usability number 1, microtransaction removal number 2, and grind removal number 3, and you probably would have had something great. Well, not even something great, honestly, because they just don't react that well, and maybe just having bunnies that react more realistically. I mean, like, they're being pelted with freaking chili here, and all they can do is just stop in place. You could have done something interesting with this theme, like made them run around on fire or something. Give my bullets something a little bit more interesting, because the upgrades aren't really that interesting. Like, make it so that I can set enemies on fire with the chilies. Make it so that the pumpkin bombs make them move slower. There are some bigger upgrades at the end that do stuff like that. Like, some of the different weapons do stuff like that. But they just take too long to get to, and you'll be upgrading your rate of fire and stuff much more quickly. Or, you'll just be doing like I'm doing, and just playing the slaughter mode over and over again, because I think at a reasonable clip, you earn money faster in this mode in comparison to the other mode. Like, look, I earned 4,000 coins there in 2 minutes. You can't really do that in the survival mode. At least not at the very beginning and not in the first hour. So, yeah. That was a look at Blast and Bunnies. I'm bored out of my mind and I want to stop playing it. It's going to have a bunch of microtransactions at the beginning, which really kind of disgusts me. It's going to have a massive grind that you need to play the slaughter mode to actually get over the first hump for, at the very least. The upgrades are boring, the shooting is actually boring, the actual enemies are boring, and anything that could have added some variety, even just visually to this, is locked behind microtransactions on day 1. So, I really can't recommend Blast and Bunnies. It just doesn't sit right in the stomach. It really doesn't. This has been Blue Maxima, and I'll see you all next time.